Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Isabel, the Starlight Witch, and today I have a deck walkthrough and pairings for you. This is a beautiful indie deck. It's called the Carte Postale Tarot, and it is created by Jane Kutisma. I'm very sorry if I have butchered that name, but she is a creator from Estonia. And this is a beautiful deck that was created a few years ago, and it hasn't been available for sale for a very long time. But a few months ago, her son actually um, listed the remaining decks that they had on Etsy, and I took the chance and bought one for myself because I have been wanting it for years. So today I have a little walkthrough and review and everything of this deck here for you. Okay, so in the spirit of total transparency and being really honest with you, there is a couple of things that I do have to mention. The first one is that these took a long time to ship. From the moment that I bought it to the moment that the package was actually sent to me, there was at least 2 weeks in between, probably more. And yeah, it did take some time for it to ship. It's only available on Etsy. Their website is not really taking orders anymore. So, of course, we have Etsy's fees and Etsy's VAT collection and all of that, just adding a lot more money to the price of the deck than it would have been otherwise. So it ended up being a costly purchase. And the last thing that I have to say is that the deck was actually sent in a box that was far too big for its size. And unfortunately, it didn't have anything to fill the empty spaces. So the deck was just banging all over inside the box, inside the big shipping box. And in fact, I was a little scared because when I got the package, it had it was kind of crumped. I'm not sure if that's even a word or if it's like the right word, but the thing is that it had been hit, and so it had kind of like a dent inside the box. And so I feared for the condition of my deck when I saw the package that got to me. So those have been the disappointing bits on this whole transaction. And I do feel like I should mention them just because if any of you actually want to order this deck, which I will leave the link to the genuine listing on Etsy on the description box. And these might be part of your experience as well. So, just so you know, and for the sake of transparency, that are these little details that were part of the process for me. So, moving on, let's get into the deck and the nicer stuff. I do have to mention that the actual outer box of the package came very nicely wrapped. The creator really did take time to make these beautiful, as small businesses tend to do. And so the outer box actually came wrapped in this beautiful wrapping paper. I have saved as much as I can, though it is kind of covered in tape, but I will be using these for journaling, probably on the spring because of the motif, but it was a very beautiful detail. Inside that box, there was the deck. It was actually, unfortunately, covered in bubble wrap. So I am happy to say that despite not having anything to keep the deck from banging inside the box, it still arrived in pristine condition. So there is that. It comes wrapped like this. I'm pretty sure that this is the page of a book. It's not really like newspaper, but like the page of a book. It has a stamping here with the number of the copy. There were 500 copies of this deck. I have 179 out of 500. And it had these beautiful okay, I think you can see it there. It had this beautiful wax seal and this beautiful cord. I cut it in the back, and I do intend to use it probably for journaling as well. Somehow, it's just really pretty detail. And of course, I will be using the book page as well. And it's really cool that it's actually, I'm pretty sure it's Estonian. So that's actually kind of cool. Okay, so this is what the deck looks like. The box particularly. I think we should zoom in so you can get a better look here of the deck. It is a hard box, really sturdy, really pretty. It's a magnetic closure. It has these on the side, and this is the back of the box. It says Carte Postale Tarot. That's the website, and this was created in 2021. The top and the bottom just have the same pattern all around, and it opens up like this. It opens all the way. So it has these beautiful sort of wallpapery details. It has an old postcard and an old photograph, and then written by hand with a Sharpie, it has the number here. 179 out of 500. So this is definitely a genuine deck. It does not come with a guidebook, and it does say so on the website. It doesn't even like have a PDF, and it does say that it will never come with a guidebook. On the bottom of the box, we have these printed onto the design. It looks like it's a card, but it's not actually a card. It's just printed on the bottom of the box. And it says, "It is the past that holds the key to understanding the present and foreseeing the future." And it's really pretty. It's very, very pretty. So let's put that aside and have a little look at the cards. It doesn't come edged. I want to edge mine in like a sort of antique gold. These are the bags. I'm pretty sure this is the same wallpapery pattern from the inside. Yeah, it is the same, I think. No, but it's very similar. It's a very similar pattern, and it's in a different colorway. Let's see if you can have a closer look. It's nice and pretty. Okay. The cardstock is pretty good, I would say. Very standard for indie decks. It has a silky matte. I think it might be like a UV coat lamination. It feels maybe 330 GSM. or something like that. But it has a pretty standard um, card stock for indie decks, and so I do think it's really nice quality. This is a collage deck that the creator did using old pictures and postcards. So, something that I wasn't quite expecting is that the resolution on some of these images is not particularly sharp. But I do notice these things quite a lot because I am a designer by trade, so I always notice these kind of things. And the treatment that they were giving probably on Photoshop is not necessarily professional, but they are still pretty good looking, and I think I'm going to enjoy working with them. I have planned to use them mostly for my ancestors. So, yeah, it does have added details besides the font on itself, but these little butterfly and the parchment and quill over here. So the creator has definitely added some details that were not part of the original postcard images. So I do enjoy that. Here we have the magician. I think this is a bird. Yeah, there is a bird here at the bottom. And there is a wand here on the top, some added images. This is the High Priestess, the image on the box. Very pretty, one of my favorites. The Empress. Very ethereal. The Emperor. The Hierophant. The Lovers. This deck has two Lovers cards. We have this one, which is two men, and we have a rainbow roses. So it does have one of the images portraying queer love. And then we have one for straight people or straight passing people. And I find this one pretty interesting because they both have masks here. And I like the suggestion that these two people have chosen to remove their masks and just be who they are with each other, you know? So I definitely really like that idea. We have the Chariot, Strength, the Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune. Here it's called just the Wheel. And I like because this looks like a circus performance, like there is people inside the wheel. And I'm pretty sure that this here is the Mayan calendar. So there are some pretty cool details that have been added here. And I kind of do wish that there was a guidebook so we could know about the addition of these details. Look how the money and a key is falling from her when she's upside down. That's very interesting. And here at the top we have a clock, and we can see that one of the hands of the clock has also fallen down. You see that there are very interesting details in this deck. We have Death here. This is really cool and it's funny. This deck has a sense of humor and I like it. as kind of a hand of a clock, we have a scythe over here. And then memento mori, remember death. Interesting. Temperance. And the devil. Oh, this is funny. This is so funny. Like the expression on his face, it's like golden. It just is. And she looks far too happy to be. Oh my god. This deck has a sense of humor. I really like it. We have the tower. And very interestingly, we have some onions here at the bottom, layers and stuff. I like that. There is a lot to be interpreted here. The star, and she's beautiful. I love how she collaged this bit so the train of her dress kind of looks like a waterfall. So many interesting tidbits in here. We have the moon. She added the crawfish here. The sun. Beautiful, that performer. We have a sunflower and a horse at the bottom corner. Judgment. And there's a little phoenix that has been added as well. And we have a crow. And then the world. Rather interesting additions that have been put in here. We have the Ace of Swords. And then, we have the addition here of a sword breaking into a cloud. She looks pensive. The Two of Swords. The Three of Swords. It does have the traditional heart pierced by 3 swords in the corner, but if you look at her, it allows you to read perhaps more numerologically, because she could be just worried, she could be. It's not necessarily heartbreak on its own. The Four of Swords. The swords have been added on top, but she looks just having a nice time in a hammock reading, and I love that. The Five of Swords. This is really cool. The Six. Very traditional. I love that she's rowing her own boat. The Seven, and he's speaking. I love that. The Eight. And she's just chained. There are no swords around her, but she's still blindfolded somewhat. You can see through the blindfold. I don't know if you can see her eyes there, but you can totally see through the blindfold, and I think that detail is pretty interesting. The Nine of Swords, which, oh my god. Even the mice are climbing onto her bed. And she's like so done. Just take me already. And the Ten of Swords. And this is pretty interesting because she used the image of a contortionist here. That cannot be a comfortable position in any universe. But it's quite interesting. The Page of Swords, the Knight, and oh boy, he's going down a hill. Poor horse. The Queen. I love the expression on her face. It's like somebody just told her some bullshit and she's like, yeah, sure. I like that. I like this queen. She looks fierce and like she's not gonna have any of your bullshit. Then we have the king. And now we move into the wands. I love how in this ace as well you have a lady coming out of a flower. Rather interesting, and of course the addition of the wand on the top corner. We have the 2, and the globe has been added to the side, and she's looking down at the landscape. Really cool. Some color has been added as well. The 3 of Wands, very traditional. There's even a boat in the background. Really cool. The 4 of Wands. This is probably one of the most evident that the collage is not really professionally done. The flowers and the people are just too small in proportions compared to the swing. But this is still a pretty cool image. Then we have the 5 of Swords. And again, I love the humor of this deck. We have 2 roosters fighting here. So, pardon my French, but I love how this is like put as a cockfight. Sorry, not sorry. And of course, we have a 6 of Wands. Rather nice. The 7 of Wands, and this boy has an attitude. Come at me, bitch. I love the humor of this deck, which was completely unexpected. But I'm loving it. This is sassy. The 8 of Wands, and I love how there isn't any flying wands being added to this image. Instead, we have a jumping ballerina, and I love that. The 9. This is brilliant. And the 10. Also brilliant. She's looking grumpy. And who wouldn't be with that giant basket on your back? The expressions of the people here. Then we have the page. And this is rather interesting because this could totally be non-binary or trans representation. We have a lady dressed as a man, which, for the time period was unusual. We have the Knight of Wands, and this is fire. I like it. Though that guy looks like he's not gonna be on top of the horse for much longer. He looks like he's gonna end up on a wall cartoon style. The heck? And I love this queen. Look at her. She's just beautiful. And the cat. I love my kitties, and I do have a black cat too, so this card is one of my favorites. And then we have the king. We have the Ace of Cups now. And this time the lady is not emerging from a flower, but from um is that a martini glass? Well, it's a beautiful chalice, though there is some plants at the bottom. And of course, we have water and a cup being added to the collage. Really cool. The Two of Cups. I really like this because this type of thing cannot happen without the two people working together and the two people collaborating with each other, being in sync, supporting each other, doing the thing. So I like this Two of Cups very much. Very nice. We have a beautiful Three of Cups. A Four of Cups here. We have the hand with the cup that's being added in the collage, and there's 3 cups at the bottom. And I love how she just looks like, dude, I'm reading, can you just leave me alone? Which, same, girl, same, honestly. We have a Five of Cups here. The cups have been added. We have 3 that have turned over and 2 on the other side that are still standing. The Six of Cups, which is adorable. 2 little kids playing to be grown-ups. Oh, kids, just stay little. Trust me. This one is golden. The Seven of Cups. And I love that, first of all, he's juggling rather than like choosing, but he's kind of just juggling. And 6 out of 7 of the things that he's juggling is his own head. Well, actually, all 7 of them, really. Yeah, it's all 7 of them. It's his head. But then there is something on top of his head, which is interesting. You have jewelry, cameras, a lady, a castle, a dragon, a snake. It's rather interesting, this image. There is so much that can be gleaned from this image alone. I think it's genius. Then we have our Eight of Cups. She's definitely moving away. The cups have been added at the bottom. Love that. She looks rather happy to be moving on. Then we have this wee little bard. Well, he looks like a bard to me. And he's just having the time of his life as the Nine of Cups, and I love that. How cool. Love it. Oh, and this really cute 10 of Cups. There is a tiny ladybug that has been added, and the cup, and a rainbow to have some traditional symbols in here. Very beautiful. We have our page. The cup and the fish have been added into the image. This Knight of Cups, which is probably my least favorite card. It's rather awkward, I think. It's a rather awkward image, but I suppose that it works. Then we have the Queen of Cups. Her tiara was just added on the collage, but she looks rather happy. And the King. And last but not least, we move into the Pentacles, which in this deck are called the Coins. And once more, we have a lady emerging from a flower, and she looks happy and content. And I enjoy that. Or Two of Coins. We have the lemniscate symbol being added on her arm, and a coin. It has a ship. It's a nice coin. Then Three of Coins, really cool. We have cobblers making shoes, really cool. It definitely delivers the message. 3 coins have been added at the top. Very nice. The 4 of Coins, which is of course some sort of, I don't know if royal will be the right word, but someone definitely displaying their wealth. The 5, very appropriate. They are, however, knocking on a door, which is cool. They are reaching for shelter and help. The 6, very cool. We have, of course, some scales added at the top for balance. Or 7. Or 8. Someone crafting violins, really cool. Or 9. Love her. Really like her. And the 10. And this is adorable. What is that face? It kind of looks like a ghost on the window, isn't it? Okay. Another page, which just like the... Was it the cups or the wands? Well, like on the previous suit, we have another lady dressed as a man. So again, we can see it as probably queer representation here, I would say. We have a Knight of Coins. Really cool. Loads of horses in this deck. We have our Queen. She looks bored though. And also like she's kind of done with your bullshit. Yeah, she looks like, ugh, so meh. And then the King, which is my favorite king. And it has the most adorable doggy. Look at that face. Oh, I want to give him pets. Okay, so that is it. This is the Carte Postale Tarot. I am going to give it a shuffle. Let's see how it shuffles. This would be the time when I pick a card and read from the guidebook, just so you guys can see how the guidebook reads. But again, there isn't a guidebook, like not even a PDF version of it. So there is nothing for me to read from. And so we're just going to see the shuffle, and then I'm gonna show you some pairings. It shuffles beautifully. I'm pretty sure that this is a standard tarot size. I'm going to attempt to riffle shuffle this. Okay. It's doable for someone who has bigger hands than me. That might be easier, but I don't think that's something that I'm gonna be doing with this deck, because it is a bit of an effort for me, and I do try to be more careful with my indie decks. But yeah, this is a really nice shuffle. Okay, so let's have a look at some pairings here, because I do enjoy showing that to you guys in all of my showcase Sunday videos. There are some obvious choices that could definitely be put together with this deck, and I'm afraid that for this video they're gonna have to be honorable mentions, because I don't own any of those decks. But these are definitely the Vintage Wisdom Oracle, the Postcards from Spirit Oracle, and the Beloved Dead Oracle, and even When Olga Speaks, which is a beautiful indie oracle that I definitely want to get my hands on at some point. And these are all vintage and mostly collage oracles as well. They would go beautifully with this deck, but I do not have them, so I cannot show them to you. And instead, I'm going to show you other decks. Okay, so they are honorable mentions this time. This here is the Magical Herb Oracle by Sherilyn Darcy. This is a Rockpool publication, and I thought of it because it has these beautiful vintagey colors, especially in the background. The plants also look like they've been pressed, dried a little bit. So I thought that this would be something cool to try, and I do think that they pair together rather nicely. I would say yeah, this definitely works for me. I love the expression on her face, and she's like, calm. Okay, one more. Yeah, this is a good pair. Of course, I need to shuffle better the tarot, because I didn't do the most stellar job with it, but I still think it's a cool pair. That's the Magical Herb Oracle by Sherilyn Darcy and illustrated by Dear Dandy. Then we have a favorite for the fall season, which is The Woodland Wardens by Jessica Rue, and this is published by Andrews McMeel. Yeah, Andrews McMeel. I trimmed my copy because those borders were gigantic and I thought were unnecessary. So I trimmed it. These are the backs. I etched mine in the sort of bronze color. It's a nice brown color that goes really well with this deck. And I didn't trim the borders completely. I do think that the design, this wooden design on the border, totally needs to have a thicker border around it so you can appreciate it. But I did trim the borders significantly, and not only is it much easier to handle, but I think that the art stands out more. And I do think that this is a good pair. The only thing that it's feeling just a little bit off for me is that the borders on the Woodland Wardens are a bit lighter than the borders on the Carte Postale. But I like these two. They're nice. I think I still prefer the other, but this is a good combination still. One more. Yeah, I think the other is my favorite so far. But this is not too bad on a pinch. That is The Woodland Wardens by Jessica Rue. And last but not least, I have a newer deck. I think that this is going to be my favorite, but it's not guaranteed because this one has a lot of beautiful bright colors. This is the Cosmic Crossroads Oracle by Amanda Ling Eisling, and this is by Hay House. And I do think that this deck was made with the idea of using it for ancestral connection, which is exactly what I want to do with a Carte Postale. These are the backs. I've etched mine in these, I don't know, lime green-ish color that goes really nicely with the bags. So if these two were to go together nicely, but yeah, this one is more modern by far, and it does have a lot more bright colors, so I'm not sure how I feel about it so far. I don't hate it, but I also don't love it. I do like that some of these images do have a bit more of a vintage flair to them. Some are far too modern, but some are a bit more vintage. You see in here, it kind of looks like the horse might just jump into the portal. So it's not like they couldn't work together. See, this is as well a bit more vintage imagery, so I like that. And there are some cards from this deck that have more color. Surrender to death. Oh god. See, but this is a little too modern. This is actually a picture of the creator of this deck, so it's very, very modern. I don't know. I don't hate it, but I also don't love it, and I really thought that I was going to. So tell me what you think. What do you think of this deck and of the pairings that I've been putting it with? Or if you think of, oh boy, discontentment with the Ace of Coins. I do like the circle kind of, and there's second circles mirroring each other on the bottom. Interesting. Openness with the lovers. I like that. It's getting better. And then we've gone a little too modern. But again, I don't hate it. But yeah, tell me in the comments if you know of any decks that would be a great pair for the Carte Postale, especially for ancestor work, because that is what I'm going to be using mine for. I'm going to dedicate it to my ancestors, and it's going to be for just them. This was the Cosmic Crossroads Oracle by Amanda Lynn Eisling. And tell me what you think of this deck. So, that's everything that I've got for you today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. If you like to watch some more content like this, I of course have many things planned for the future. I do have a second channel. It's called Guided by Your North Star, where I read cards for other people. And I also have a lot of fun things coming over there. And I would love to see you over there too. If you would like to support me as a creator, I do have my Coffee link in the description box. It's never expected but always appreciated. And of course, you will find the link to the genuine listing to get this deck if you so desire. But for now, thanks for watching, thanks for being here, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!